Okay, and finishing up this module, I just want to go over syllabus and other materials. When you log into Blackboard, this is what you should basically see for the course. Each week, there will be more and more materials released onto the page. So that way we don't just give you everything all at once. We do it week by week to make it more digestible for you. If you click here on syllabus, let's go through this first. This is the syllabus for the course. We have our course description. The textbook is Entrepreneurship Law, Cases and Materials by Reed and Barron from 2013. Steve Reed and Esther Barron are friends of mine. They teach a entrepreneurship clinic at Northwestern Law School. Their book is from 2013, so you'll be able to find a copy of it that's not too expensive. They don't update it because some areas of the law change quickly and others don't, and there's not a real need to update the book. Plus, they know that not updating it keeps the prices down for you guys. There's lots of information here about how we're going to be doing this course together this semester. You know, there's, like I said in my welcome video, there's pros and cons of doing it online. I'm really excited to try it online this semester, but there's various benefits and consequences. So one of the things is I'm expecting you to log on to the course Blackboard page at least once per week. And just fair warning, we can track when you log on, we can track what you click on, we can track how long you're there. I mean, it's not meant to be creepy. It's just meant to let you know that, you know, we can confirm what you're doing on the course site. If there are any emails, I don't imagine there's going to be many emails, but if there are emails, I expect students to respond to those within 3 days. When you're working in the real world, you should respond to them within 3 hours. But, you know, if there are emails, I don't expect there's going to be any, because that's not the way in which we're going to communicate with each other. The largest way I expect we're going to communicate with each other is through the discussion boards. Of course, you're always free to send me an email. Don't hesitate to send me an email. Just saying that's not how I intend to communicate with most of you. How we're going to do that as a group is through discussion boards, which is, you know, if somebody asks a question in the discussion board, it's just like as if we were in the classroom and somebody rose their hand and asked a question. I want everyone in the class to get the benefit of hearing that question and my response, which is why we're going to use discussion boards. And there are weekly assignments. So there are quizzes every week where I'm going to ask you questions based on that week's module. You have to answer the questions by Friday of that week, or you don't get any credit. And your answers to these quizzes does count towards your grade, as well as your participation in the discussion board. Okay, so we're going to go to the Blackboard page in a second. We were already there, but we'll go through it more in a minute. Your grading, okay, so your grade will be determined by a combination of performance on the quizzes, which are due by Friday each week, your participation in discussion boards, and a final exam. The final exam will cover topics discussed in the modules or assigned readings, okay? At this point in your legal career, you should be able to teach yourself law. Like, that's number one point of law school, is to teach you how to teach yourself the law. The point of law school is not to teach you the law, because the law is going to change. So especially throughout your career, which is going to be 30, 40, 50 years long. So yes, we need to teach you the law. You need to take the bar exam, pass the bar exam, all that kind of stuff. But the more important thing is that you know how to learn the law yourself. You know how to go and read the statutes, the legislative history, the doctrine, etc. And you can teach yourself the law. So I'm not going to go over in my lectures or my slide decks every single thing that I want you to know. If I want you to know it, I've assigned it to you in a reading or in some other way. So don't think just because we don't talk about it in a video or on a discussion board doesn't mean it's not fair game for the exam. If it's in an assignment, it's in an assigned reading, it's fair game for the exam. Okay. Now, I will make the exam available to you on Blackboard by the first day of finals. It'll be a link. It's an online exam. There will be essays, multiple choice, true, false. You have to answer your responses online. I usually recommend you copy and paste all the questions into another document, do your work, and then copy and paste your answers in. You have until the last day of finals to complete the exam. Okay, so I think finals for the summer last 3 days. So I'll put the exam up on one day, and then you have until the last day of finals to do it. The exam is open book, and it's not timed. You can take as much time as you want over the course of those 3 days to do it. The only restriction is you cannot consult with another human being about it. That's the only restriction, okay? So here's the course schedule. So we have our 7 weeks, which corresponds to our 7 modules. This week was introduction, and here's the assignment. You had this text, reading from the text, pages 1 through 8, and I wanted you to go over the Cooley Go sample VC due diligence request list. Well, we already did that in the videos, but go back, look it over again, make sure you're familiar with what a due diligence request list is, what are the kind of things that it asks, all that kind of stuff. Next module, next week, we're going to talk about organization. After that, we'll do financing, then talent, then IP, then risk and reg and exits, then social entrepreneurship, professional responsibility. Okay, each week there's some reading from the text that I assign to you, and then there's some other things which I expect you to be able to find on your own. So for example, for next week, I'm asking you to find Twitter's certificate of incorporation. Okay, Twitter's certificate of incorporation. Do you have any idea how you know? You might get asked to find that when you go to work at a law firm or a company. And the right answer is not to turn around to the supervising attorney or your senior attorney and say, well, where do I find that? That's going to make them not like you. What you need to do is say, okay, I'll find it. And then you have to use all your powers and your detective skills to figure out, how can I find this? Only go back to your senior attorney or your supervising attorney when you haven't been able to do this. I mean, after you can tell them, look, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, and I still couldn't find what you asked me to look for. Because then you'll show them that you did everything you could to try to find it, weren't able to. Okay, so we could try to just Google Twitter certificate of incorporation. We could try to go to Twitter's websites. But I'm going to give you the answer, which in this case is the Securities and Exchange Commission EDGAR website, E-D-G-A-R. Okay, EDGAR. EDGAR is going to become your friend. If you're a corporate transactional lawyer, EDGAR is going to become your friend. So EDGAR is the Securities and Exchange website that has every filing made by every company that is subject to securities laws. Notice this isn't just publicly traded companies. Private companies, as we'll talk about in a couple weeks, are subject to securities laws and do have to make certain filings. So don't think only public companies have to do filings. That's not true. Okay. So let's say we're looking for any filings made by Twitter, because remember, the Securities and Exchange Commission is hosting all these documents that companies have to file. Well, what kind of documents do you think they could require? Well, we talked about it earlier, this material information standard. So the SEC requires companies to file material information with them. If they're publicly traded, they have to disclose material information at the time that they want to go public and every quarter thereafter. So since we know Twitter is a public company, we're going to search here for Twitter and see if we can find the company called Twitter. Oh, so we found Twitter Inc.'s EDGAR page. So we're at the SEC EDGAR page, and we're here to try to find certificate of incorporation. All right, I'm going to give you a couple more clues. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to find it. I'm going to see if you can find it on your own, and then when we come back next week, we'll find it all together if you can. But I'll give you a couple clues. The most important document a public company files is its 10K. A 10K is its annual report. That is the report it has to file every year. And you can even look, the ones that have interactive data, you can say, well, look, there's some things that just have documents and there's some that has interactive data. The interactive data stuff is probably more important, right? I mean, probably more important because it's got 2 tabs instead of just 1. So that's my clue to you, the 10Ks. See if you can challenge yourself. Spend some time just getting familiar with the EDGAR system, what all is here, what different things are, what's an 8K, what's a 10Q, etc. Just spend some time on EDGAR, see if you can find Twitter's certificates of incorporation and their bylaws. And what I've asked you here is to find both the versions that existed as Twitter as a private company and those as Twitter as a public company. I'm telling you, they are on EDGAR. You can find them on EDGAR. Okay, so now I'm just leaving it to you as a challenge so you can find them yourself. The following week, we have notices of sale and exempt offering of securities. Again, you're going to find that on EDGAR. Okay. The next thing here, the Y Combinator safe with cap and discount. Now, if you just Google this, it'll come up. So Y Combinator safe, And we have a cap, no discount, discount, no cap, cap and discount, most favored nations, no cap, no discount. We're going to go over all that is. I don't expect you to have any idea what any of that means, but I do expect you to be able to find it. Okay. Y Combinator is an incubator in Silicon Valley. You may have heard Brian talk about it because that's the one that he got into with Airbnb. What they do is startups apply to Y Combinator to get into their class. You get accepted into Y Combinator, that's a great thing. It's like being accepted into, you know, a really great group or club or school, whatever you want. Y Combinator then gives you classes, they connect you with people, they help you get fundraising, they actually give you money. So there's lots of Y Combinator, they take equity in exchange that they do to help. And we're going to go over what SAFE is, what it means to be with a cap and a discount, etc. Then there's the other thing for that week, the Series Seed term sheet. Remember, we heard about term sheets in the email from Sheldon. He said he had a term sheet. I said, we're going to go over some term sheets. So the first term sheet I want you to find and review is what's called as the Series Seed term sheet. Now, what do you think that means? Series Seed term sheet. Well, forget the word series. We'll talk about that. But seed term sheet. What that should tell you is that this is a term sheet for an investment at the earliest of stages of a company, at the seed stage. So it's a term sheet for investing in a seed stage company. Then we have the NVCA model term sheet, which NVCA is the National Venture Capital Association. They are it's like the ABA, but for venture capital. So if you want to be involved with the venture capital community, if you want to know what's going on in the venture capital world, NVCA is the place to go. It's like the NFL, football, what have you. Okay, so you should be able to find the NVCA model term sheet, and we're going to go over that in detail, etc. Other things here, there are some cases. So I put like this case here, Epic Systems versus Lewis, US 2018. I don't give you the site. I expect you to be able to find the case, Epic Systems v. Lewis. Okay, except same with Alice v. CLS Bank, etc. Okay, so that's the weeks or modules, the topic we'll be discussing, and then the assignment. Okay, and that's the syllabus. Let's see if there's anything else here. I think most of this is pretty generic stuff. All right. We've gone over Edgar, how to search Edgar and try to find documents. Okay. So the last thing for this module, you get one more email from your client, 15 minutes after the last email. And this email, Sheldon saying, hey, do you need help with that list of things the investor wants? I thought it looked easy enough. I hope there aren't any issues because if this funding falls through, I'll be back living with my mother in Texas and will never be able to pay you or anyone else we owe money. So this is just, again, my lame dad humor attempt to drive home the point that clients in this industry are extremely demanding. They are unappreciative of what we do as attorneys. And so if you want your name in lights, if you want to be on the front page of the newspaper, don't do startup law. Don't do corporate law. You've never heard of a corporate lawyer or a startup lawyer whose name was in the paper, except for the one we talked about earlier with the problem with drugs who overdosed and passed away, unfortunately. If you want to be on the front page and on TV, go do litigation. Go do Supreme Court cases. Those are the lawyers that get on TV. The lawyers like us who do corporate transactional work, we're like the Rodney Dangerfields. We never get any respect. We never get any appreciation. But I still love it. I still think helping companies start and grow and hire people and produce really cool products and services, that means more to me as an attorney. That means more value to me. That brings me more happiness than having, my name in lights and doing a big trial and getting a big jury verdict. So, but I just, like I did earlier, just want to keep it real with you that this is not a relaxed and easy practice of law. This is a very stressful, high pressure area of the law. Well, with that, we're done with the first module of the course. Remember, review the modules, materials, do the assignment, and take the quiz by Friday so that you don't lose out on those points. Please also go to the discussion board for this module and contribute. And let me just show you where all that's going to be. Okay, so we come back to the Blackboard page. You'll see here there's modules, and the only module you should be able to see is Module 1, the introduction. This is where you're going to see the videos and the slide deck that I just used, along with the assignments. Down here, you'll see the discussion board, okay? And this is where you can contribute. If you have any issues with that, it doesn't seem like it's working right now yet because we haven't gone live. But if you have any issues, let me know. Make sure you can contribute. And then here's the knowledge check, which has the quizzes. So when you come on this knowledge check, you'll see the quiz, and you'll have to start the quiz and take the quiz. And this, as it says here, it's due every Friday at midnight. Okay. Well, with that, I hope this first module has been enjoyable and look forward to seeing you in module number 2.